Hey there YouTube, this is SJM4306 back with another video. This time we're actually going to button up this random repair that I started quite a while ago. It's this analog sort of digital emulating clock. It's all mechanical, and we got this from a thrift store for like $1.50 or something. I forget the exact price, but it was definitely less than $2, which is absolutely insane. And we figured out that the motor was dead, unfortunately, so we needed a way to replace that. Basically, spin this and advance the time. So I actually went on eBay and bought this, and in the last video I showed you guys generally how I rigged this up with the original gear. And so I needed a way of 3D printing some kind of mount, or coming up with something where this can be securely aligned and attached right in here. And I wrote some code for an Arduino, and this is just, it'll run on a 328, ATmega 328P anyway. So it's nothing special, and it's just for timing the pulses in order to rotate the motor accurately. Anyway, what we're going to do now is actually concentrate on the mount. There's going to be a plastic mount that this motor screws into, and it somehow has to affix to this piece of metal here on the side. And it can't stick out too much. It still has to actually fit inside the case, which we have actually quite a bit of room on the side here. This is a case. The display is centered here, and we have maybe about 1.5 inches, maybe a little less than that, 1.25 inches, something like that. Anyway, we're going to figure that out. So let me take you guys over to the computer, and I'll show you the model that I've rigged up in SolidWorks. Okay, so here we are in SolidWorks. Sorry for the handheld nature of this. So this is the model that I came up with. So as you can see here, I designed this basically like a little cylinder. I have this weird little ridge thing here because I actually plan on fitting it into, there's like a little tab that the original motor mount went into. And you can see there's several holes, lips that are used to kind of align things, as well as the 2 screw holes that the motor goes into there. So this will actually be pretty interesting to see if this prints out correctly, because the orientation that I have this printing in over here is kind of on the bottom here where the motor should go. I have the little flange bit just kind of floating in the air. I try to set a curve to that to allow it to actually print successfully without supports. So we'll see how that goes. I think I will play it safe and have it generate supports, but I'm not sure if they're actually necessary. But we'll see that. So let's get this printing. Looks to be 40 minutes on the dot. Uses 10 grams exactly of filament. It's guessing. So we'll get this fired up, print it out, and check it out. Hopefully this works, but like everything else, I'll probably have to reiterate on this and to get something that'll fit and work. Okay, and about 40 minutes later, we have a physical version of what I modeled. And basically, I'll just take you through some highlights. This is printed on glass, so the one side is perfectly smooth and the other one is obviously kind of rough. So this side was, this is where the motor actually inserts into. There's 2 holes here for the screws, obviously. I actually did a pretty good job of setting the size so that when I use these like machine screws, they actually tapped into the plastic and they make a pretty strong bond, and it worked out really well. So did a good job on that. The inset here, it's a little messy because it was essentially printing on air. So you can see it's not very smooth in there, but I set it deep enough that it doesn't foul with this lip here, and it fits perfectly flat. Because I printed on glass, this side is perfectly flat, and everything fits really nicely. Additionally, I have this extended lip part that is supposed to actually mate with this hole right in here, and that just allows it so that it aligns this gear like coaxially in the perfect location so that it can spin this guy in here that I'm spinning with my finger now. And additionally, I could have actually, I wanted to get fancy. I probably could have just made this into a cylinder and just been done with it. But I wanted to add this little lip so that I can have it catch on this metal finger here, which was what originally the motor mounted to. So had this little lip here that kind of went underneath that and sort of held it in place there. So I try to emulate that, and for the most part it worked. I actually had this printed with supports, even though actually I was pretty conservative in terms of this kind of roll-off, that it was able to print almost perfectly without the supports. The supports actually weren't really touching anything. I could easily just pick it off with my fingers. So that was sort of overkill, but whatever. Additionally, one thing I noticed is I printed it in this orientation. I have a single fan pointing in this direction and no fan on the backside. And the backside of my 3D printer is facing a window, and it's starting to get cold here. So you'll actually notice some of this backside actually started warping, and kind of, you could see it's a little wavy there. And so yeah, that's sort of a thing. I probably should upgrade my 3D printer, the hot end, add a second fan or something so I can have a single fan blow on both sides simultaneously. Additionally, if I printed this not during, cold weather, it would have turned out just fine. And so yeah, this was sort of really thin, and there's some temperature variance, so it started curling upwards, but it doesn't affect anything. And actually, I haven't noticed, even though it's not perfectly flat because of that, it still fits kind of good enough. It's a little hard to get situated in there because it's hard to see what you're doing, but it does eventually kind of click into place. So let's just take the motor, screw it in. You can see here the diameter is like just perfect where the motor can clear. It doesn't foul on the plastic, but the plastic kind of just goes right around it. Anyway, let's speed through this. I'll just start screwing this back in, and we'll mount it up and run a quick test. Okay, so it's snugly mounted now, and we can see the gear can still kind of wiggle a little bit, so it's not scraping or anything like that. Now the kind of slightly irritating part is getting this to line up correctly and to go into place. There we go. And you kind of have to give this wheel just a little bit of a wiggle so that the teeth on the gear mesh. So now they're meshed. Now there's nothing holding this in right now besides my finger, obviously. So we're gonna have to hot glue. I was actually originally gonna use like some of these screw posts. Probably would have been a good idea to do that, but I kind of got lazy while I was modeling it, and I would have had to use like a lot more support material. Would have taken longer to print. So I figured whatever, I'm actually going to use hot glue once I get this aligned perfectly. Just kind of press it in like this and just put a couple dabs of hot glue. Make it so that it's removable. So if I ever need to service this or replace the motor, I'm able to do so without too much trouble. But this will be good enough for now, so I can just hold this in. So I'm going to actually have to grab some cords so I can power this Arduino, and we'll do a quick demo, so give me a sec. Okay, so I have this guy. I'll just show you, we'll just turn this back to 11:59 so we can watch the motor roll it over. We already tested this before. The motor definitely does have enough torque, but I want to check the alignment. So I have a USB battery pack that just plugs into this Arduino. Everything just runs at 5 volts. You can see it turning. I haven't calibrated it, so this is turning faster than 1 second per kind of tick there. So 1 minute, according to this clock, is actually faster. But yeah, you can see there, it does hum. You can hear it, but I assume that the original clock did too. See there, yeah, it has plenty of torque. About to roll over to 1201. It gets a little noisier when it actually advances a digit or more, but that's okay. Actually, I can live with that. This will just sit on a table anyway and look pretty and tell the time. Yeah, you can see there it's working just fine. You can just have it advance to 1 o'clock. And there we go. And I have tested the these two wires here for the incandescent bulb inside. I've tested that at 5 volts, and it's actually plenty bright enough at 5 volts. So I should be able to run this entire thing off of, USB input, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you can see at least the theory is actually working. This motor does have quite a bit of torque, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Just got to work out the timing and make a little circuit board and do minimal modification to the case to get a USB cord to pass through it and plug into a little board that controls everything, wire everything up nicely, and we're good to go. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. This was just kind of a quick one. In the next one, I'll show you guys me designing a little board so I can mount this up, not with like a full Arduino, but with a little controller board that gets soldered to the back here and fit everything nicely into the case. And then we can wrap this guy up. Then I can consider this clock a fully working item and actually use it now. So anyway, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.